Brenda Shackelford of Abbotsford, BC. You have a chance to win in the Save on Foods $1 million touchdown to win contest. If one kick is returned for a touchdown in this game, you can get a $10,000 home theater package. If it happens the second time, you could be in store for $1 million. So I say good luck to Brenda as we head to Montreal now and join Rod Black and Dwayne Ford.
All right, hello Canada. Welcome to the bright lights, the big city. Montreal, the island, the Alouettes against the Toronto Argonauts. And for the Owls, there's been no place like home. And their home is at Percival Molson Stadium, McGill University.
And this is a place that S.J. Green called home for many years. Contributed a big part of the 10,000-yard milestone that he recently reached. He's looking for another one tonight with a 107-yard game. S.J. Green would reach 1,000 yards on the season. Also looking to reach that 1,000 mark. He in the rushing category. Alouettes running back William Stanback, 954 on the season, 46 away from that elusive milestone.
Yeah, they're playing for milestones and not records tonight. Kahari Jones knows his team has a date, November 10th for the East semifinal. They await an opponent. And for Corey Chamberlain, very much a lot of doubt up in the air for the Toronto Argonauts for next season. This is all about getting film out, he told us yesterday. Getting ready for next season, showing that you want to belong. The Argos will kick it off tonight. Mario Alford, who's had back-to-back games with punt returns for touchdowns. Argos in white, the Alouettes blue and red, and away we go in Montreal tonight. Julian Grant trying to find a block, and the Canadian returner up to the 24-yard line. Penalty flag flies early on here, and Vernon Adams trying to erase last week's game, maybe his worst start of the season in Winnipeg. Yeah,
very tough outing for Vernon Adams in terms of the nature of the interceptions that he threw under a lot of pressure from Winnipeg, rushing some throws.
Tom Valese, our referee tonight, has the camera on. We'll see the view from the bill of his cap. Here's the call.
Illegal interference, Toronto number 23. 10-yard penalty, first down.
So again, Vernon Adams coming off a 4-interception performance against the Winnipeg Blue Bombers.
Alouettes and Argos met 2 months ago in Moncton, New Brunswick. Touchdown Atlantic. Played a thriller that day. Jeremiah Johnson had his first touchdown as an Alouette in that game. Went right down to the wire. And the Owls won that game in thrilling fashion. Here's their starting offense. Chris Matthews works his way back in.
Yeah, Matthews back in the starting lineup. They go with the All-American receiving corps. Eugene Lewis leading the way. He has had a big 2019 season, a real breakout year for him. Shuffle along that offensive line. Sees the veteran Landon Rice, usually a guard, gets the start at right tackle.
Second short yardage successfully attained. And here's the Argos D.
Davon Coleman out of the lineup, so Justin Thomas gets the start alongside Cleon Lang at the defensive tackle spots. Toby Antigua has looked good at middle linebacker. A couple interceptions from that spot a week ago. And the newcomer, former Calgary Stampeder Shaq Richardson, joins the Toronto Argonauts here late in the season. He's going to start at the corner tonight. Former
Calgary Stampeder, William Stanback, his chase for 1,000 yards. Stanback, had he not got banged up this season, missed a number of games, and reps might be challenging Andrew Harris for that rushing lead.
Yeah, got off to such a great start. Most fans will remember his performance early in the season against the Hamilton Tiger Cats. Big game. He and Jeremiah Johnson both in the lineup tonight, so we anticipate seeing some looks with the two tailbacks sharing that backfield.
Second down and 6. Alouettes trying to get off to a good start. Adams kind of sidearm. Posey, who had a huge catch, remember, in that win in Moncton and has had a number of big catches against his old team, the former Grey Cup MVP from a couple of seasons ago, with a big explosive play early on here.
Yeah, Posey coming out of the slot is going to work towards that corner. Gets Robert Woodson turned around right off that release. Nicely thrown ball from Vernon Adams can lead him to throw him open away from the defender. Nice adjustment from Posey. And the former Argo has the biggest play of the evening thus far.
Argo's dead last in pass yardage given up. 44-yard gain down near the 24-yard line. Shotgun, fumble, Adams chasing now out of the pocket, will step out of bounds and lose some yardage. It could have been worse though. Shaq Richardson knocks him out in his Argo debut tonight.
Richardson, again, former Calgary Stampeder. Left the Stamps for an NFL stint, found himself a free agent late in the year, and kind of had his eye looking towards playing in the Canadian Football League again in 2020. A conversation with the Argos Director of Player Personnel, John Murphy, led him to rejoin the team for the home stretch.
Adams got back to the line of scrimmage, and so false start here. Yeah, fascinating story. John Murphy was talking to us.
Offside. Montreal number 4. 5-yard penalty. Secondary period.
Before the game about Shaq, who we had been keeping in touch, and Richardson knew that Murphy got the job as player personnel director and wanted to congratulate him. Murphy last week, checking his text, says all of a sudden losing a couple of guys in the secondary, including Alden Darby, and he said, "Are you available to play? Forget next year. How about next week?" So Shaq came up from California, and here he is. Now it's 2nd and 15 after that 5-yard penalty. Vernon looks one way. Adams dumping it off to Stanback. Didn't look like he was ready as the release valve, and another drive early in a ball game. That seems to be a theme and an Achilles heel for the Alouettes. They'll have to correct before the postseason. A drive that sputters and stalls, and they have had so many slow starts this year in first quarters. Boris Beatty to bail them out. His best field goal percentage since his rookie season when he was 90%. This one for the Laval product, who hails from France. Right through. Owls start with a three-pointer. Could have been better as McLeod Bethel-Thompson gets ready to get to work. The CFL on TSN is brought to you by the Nissan Titan. Ranked number 1 in quality by J.D. Power. Week 19 kicking off tonight. This season has flown along. A month away from the postseason playoffs, where the Alouettes are heading for the first time in quite some time. And for the Toronto Argonauts, a ship that was leaking early. And now they look towards next season. Jobs on the line, obviously. McLeod Bethel-Thompson start at quarterback in just a moment. Chris Rainey trying to follow a block. J.S. Blount. And DJ Lalama down quickly as Macbeth gets ready to go to work. And last time he played against the Alouettes, he put up monster numbers, but in a loss.
Yeah, that was, of course, was in Moncton. McLeod Bethel-Thompson, terrific, particularly in the second half of that ball game, and just a final drive that fell short. Had the Argos snatching defeat from the jaws of victory.
Armani Edwards dropping a ball in the end zone, watched by Greg Reed that day. Otherwise, the Argos would have won. Speaking of Edwards, coming off a big week, 2-touchdown performance last week against the Red Blacks in their 3rd win of the season.
Well, taking a look at this Toronto Argonaut offense, Darrell Walker sits this one out. Chandler Worthy draws into the lineup in his place. Jamal Campbell continues to man that right tackle spot. Young Canadian continuing his development, has had a big leap forward this season.
2nd and 2, far side. Chandler Worthy in the lineup for Darrell Walker, and Chandler Worthy wearing a rare number, if you can call that a number, 0-0. Here's Montreal, how they stack up defensively.
Yeah, well, it's load management time for the Montreal Alouettes as they make their way to the playoffs. So, of course, the first man up to get a break is the veteran John Bowman. Javon Roland James starts in his spot. The linebacking core, keep an eye on Chris Aki from his weak side linebacker position. And youngster Justin Gibbons makes the start in place of veteran Tommy Campbell, the boundary corner tonight. Campbell as well, part of the load management strategy for the Alouettes coming down the stretch.
You brought load management into the Canadian Football League, have you?
Yes, sir.
All right. 2nd down and 6. There's the veteran John Bowman. 8-sack season, 134 career sacks. Gearing up for the postseason. Al show blitz. Bethel Thompson near side once more. And Jimmy Ralph, who had a memorable meeting with the Alouettes back in Moncton. He had his first Canadian Football League touchdown that day.
And you see such a long throw, not in terms of actual yardage gain, but again from that far hash out to the wide side. A lot of time in the air, allowed the defender to close very quickly. Make a tackle right away on Ralph.
Alouettes again blitzing. Bethel Thompson getting that away to Rodney Smith. There's a flag down in the backfield. Was that a hold? Likely afforded Bethel Thompson that little extra second, otherwise he might have been sacked. Randy Richards pleading his case to no avail.
Holding, Toronto number 59. 10-yard penalty, repeat first down.
Yeah, it was a little bit of the snatch and grab technique from Randy Richards, the veteran at left tackle. You see him pull down J.S. Blanc by the front of the jersey.
1st and 20. Worthy coming back again, 0-0. Worthy, who has had some reps with the Argos, but really been victim to a numbers game. Former star out of Troy. Spent some time in the National Football League. For tonight, just had 1 catch on the season. Now a pair of catches tonight. Off the edge, the blitz comes. Bethel Thompson again. Makes that miss, and talk about a sidestep. They were bearing down on Bethel Thompson. Number 4 somehow was able to get that away. Incomplete nonetheless. He might have been knocked into next week. There's Roland James, newcomer out of Arkansas State, bearing down Ronnie Peffer. Send this back to the Alouettes. Low driving line drive kick to the former Argo Alford. And Levi Noel, receiver, special teams player, his 14th special teams tackle of the season. Week 19, way I like my coffee, double-double. Tonight and tomorrow. Tonight, Saskatchewan trying to get to win 11 against the BC Lions. Mike Riley out of the lineup, of course, in BC. And tomorrow we'll be in Hamilton, 40. Red Blacks against the Tiger Cats. Kind of a game like today where teams are thinking ahead to playoffs and next season. Out of the backfield. Another penalty coming here. Spencer Moore. Already had a number of flags early on.
Illegal low block, Toronto number 14. 10-yard penalty, resulted in first down.
Abdul Khanna. Guilty party.
Front and center. Basically, his strategy in taking on the block is try and make a pile, make it difficult for the runner to get around. But you can't do that.
Cool night here on the hill at McGill. A lot of jackets and parkas and toques, down near freezing later tonight. That time of year, it's football season, mid-October. Playoffs around the corner. Vernon Adams, 11-5 now as a starter, and he has been the king of this hill at home this season.
Yeah, as you mentioned, Rod, there's no place like home for Vernon Adams and the Montreal Alouettes. A 5-1 record for him as their starter. 6 touchdown passes versus just 3 interceptions to this point in his breakout year.
Past the midway point of the first quarter, Vernon talking yesterday about finishing the season 1 win at a time, but finishing 6-0. That's the goal. 3 games left in the regular season, potentially 3 in the playoffs, and he's thinking large. Why not? As Shaq Richardson breaks this up.
Yeah, well-timed break to the football there from Richardson. And a nice addition. As Richardson, versatile guy, can play a lot of different spots, basically anywhere in the secondary, including that nickel linebacker spot. We saw him move around a lot during his time with the Calgary Stampeders.
Shaq played against the Argos in that 2017 Grey Cup in the snow in Ottawa. DeVere Posey, of course, had the big touchdown there. And Chris Rainey is going to high step out of bounds. So 3-0 game. Cool night in Montreal. Defense is rising up early, including that of Shaq on Friday Night Football. Stuff the dreams are made of for S.J. Green when he came into the Canadian Football League here in Montreal, and then of course with the Argos last week. 10,000 receiving yards, 700 catches, 2 milestones in one night.
Yeah, remarkable night. Part of a remarkable career. Still one of the best in the business, number 19, S.J. Green.
Comes into tonight chasing more records and numbers as Chandler Worthy. He is 103 yards away from another 1,000-yard season. By the way, let's flash back. S.J. Green's first ever catch right here, courtesy of that guy named Anthony Calvillo. Who would have thought that would have begun such a legacy, a Hall of Fame career for number 19, S.J. Green. 39 yards tonight short of number 15 overall, Earl Winfield. Ethel Thompson, backfield, Declan Cross trucks his way up to the midfield stripe, the 55-yard line. And again, another penalty here.
Holding, Toronto number 67. 10-yard penalty, repeat second down.
That one's going to go against the right tackle, Jamal Campbell. You can see a little bit of confusion as the Alouettes are moving people around. A bit off balance. Campbell wrestles his man down to the ground. He'll back it up.
Ethel Thompson back in the shotgun. 31-year-old, Bay Area, California. Then it's Sacramento State. Far side. Again, Armani Edwards, former quarterback out of Appalachian, who has become a go-to target for the Argos, but that time go-to is not enough. Again, they'll have to kick and bring out Ronnie Pepper.
Both teams kind of easing their way in here offensively.
Peffer's going to launch from near his 30. Got to be careful with the guy back here, a former Argo who comes in with a chip on his shoulder pad. And it's gone back-to-back weeks. And if it wasn't for Peffer this time, Mario Alford would have made it 3 weeks in a row with a return. He might not be done yet tonight. Super Mario. This guy has crafted a remarkable story, really a comeback story in the Canadian Football League this season. VA, Vernon Adams Jr. with more. Let's go down to Matthew Shinetti.
Well, guys, you spoke about load management, so let's pay attention to Vernon Adams Jr. very quickly, because I asked Kahari Jones yesterday and today, what is the plan? Because John Bowman isn't playing tonight. Apparently there is a plan going forward for the other veterans on the team who will not be playing in the coming weeks. Vernon Adams Jr. will not be on a pitch count. It might be a feeling out scenario for the coach and his offensive staff as they try to see whether or not they want to give Vernon Adams some rest, depending on what happens during some games. And you take a look at next week's game, which might be, although I know the Edmonton Eskimos will probably balk at this, a potential preview of the East Final. There will not be any consideration whether big game or not. Vernon Adams will play. Again, feeling out when he might not. That'll be the coach's discretion, guys.
Okay, Matt, thank you. That will be an interesting game next week. See if anybody tips their hands. Do want to get an advantage before that potential playoff game as Gino Lewis, Eugene, moves the sticks, a first down.
Well, I'm not sure that any player was happier to see Vernon Adams take over as the Montreal Alouettes starting quarterback than Eugene Lewis, as those two connected immediately.
They work double tight ends this time. Pistol formation. Hands it off to William Stanback. Runs through the signage. What will be second down and maybe half that first down yardage. Montreal team that's 5th overall in second down conversions. The Argos last or dead last in most statistical categories, hence their 3-12 record. They are last in this situation defensively. They've given up more first downs on second down than any other team. Adams gets pasted, but delivers. They were coming off the edge, and once again another first down up near the 51-yard line.
But a terrific adjustment to the football from DeVere Posey. It looked like that one was just a little bit behind him, but nice little acrobatic twist in midair to bring that one down and pick up the first down.
Keenan Gilchrist was bearing down on Vernon. Got some good advice from his dad, Vernon Adams Sr. this week. Play action. And juggling it. Jake Wenicky has his first. Vernon always chats with his pops, and dad who usually, watches the games, kind of gives his little critique. He said he was getting tired of his son saying, hey, I've got to be better. He said, no. Why don't you say, I'm going to be great? And so there's a bit of a mindset shift this week for Junior. In the minds of many here in Montreal this season, though, he has been great.
Yeah, on a team that, when you look sort of top to bottom, full of good stories, that may be the most positive.
Good story is Stanback. Gap spreader that time from the O-line, and Stanback shot through that hole. Big first down romp. William Stanback, 28 runs of 10 yards or more this season, 12 runs of 20 or more. That leads the Canadian Football League.
Yeah, we talk about it all the time with William Stanback. He is such a fascinating combination of both breakaway speed and sheer power.
Vernon. Former Argo DeVere Posey again. Eyes light up when he sees the double blue. 21 yards, another big play from the Alouettes.
And I love the focus from DeVere Posey as he pulls in this football. He knows that contact is coming, but still stays focused on the ball in the air, no shying away, no short arming it. Fully extends to go get the football and then does his best to protect himself from the oncoming hit.
They'll go 1st and 10, close to the red zone or green zone, inside the 20, just outside that right now. There's Stanback once more. Now they're inside the 20-yard line. And they've operated at pretty good efficiency this year in the red zone. Alouettes 3rd overall. 62% scoring touchdowns once they get inside the 20.
And demonstrating their offensive balance on this particular possession. Getting an opportunity as well, as you can see that I formation with both Stanback and Jeremiah Johnson in the backfield.
Little thunder lightning. Stanback on 2nd and 2 has stood up, though. Good stand here by the Argos. Clock ticks to zeros here. That's the end of the first quarter. The teams will change sides. And will the Alouettes go for it? They lead 3-0 on Friday Night Football on TSN. Well, it doesn't have a lot of meaning in the standings by any stretch, but as Dwayne Ford has often mentioned, there is no meaningless game in the Canadian Football League. There's so much still to play for and on the line, especially for the Montreal Alouettes, especially for Vernon Adams in this breakout season. What do you want to see from Vernon Adams if you're Kahari Jones down the stretch here?
Yeah, the biggest thing is a bounce back after facing maybe his biggest adversity of the year in that loss to Winnipeg last week, in which he threw 4 interceptions. You want to see how he responds tonight, and obviously from the way this game has started, I think when you're Kahari Jones, you are happy with the response from Vernon Adams. Obviously, it's important for the Alouettes as a team to try and generate some continuity, some momentum coming down the stretch as they prepare for the playoffs. But in terms of, you look just at the way that this game has started, a pretty good sign in terms of the focus, the growth, the development of Vernon Adams into a legitimate Canadian Football League star.
3rd and inches. They get the first down. They are just at the 10-yard line, so will be 1st and goal here for VA out of Pasadena, California. The former Oregon Duck came to the Canadian Football League with a lot of promise and expectation, dealt here to Montreal from BC, and then has had a bit of a vagabond trip.
He's done the tour.
He has done the tour. But it's worked out. Trying to make this work out. Touchdown! What a night it's been for this guy, Javier Posey. Posey's going to pose. Souvenir for the fans. And Vernon Adams on the money.
Well, watch the way that Javier Posey uses his stem. A quick little stab to the outside to widen the defender, and then working back inside underneath. Get that defender's hips turned. There you go. Defender starts chasing to the outside, and that allows you to overcome his inside leverage on the play.
Posey's 3rd touchdown of the season. Great drive orchestrated by Vernon Adams, and the Alouettes ate up a lot of the clock.
Well, 5 minutes and 13 seconds off the clock. Impressive 10-play drive covering 92 yards for Vernon Adams, Javier Posey, and the Montreal Alouettes.
Here's how it all started. Adams comes out gunning, and it started with Posey, and it ended with Posey, and a lot of Stanback.
I was going to say a whole lot of Posey and Stanback on that one, but those are the guys that you want to lean on at this time of year. Javier Posey, a guy who's been there, done that, former Grey Cup MVP.
Vernon Adams doing a few push-ups after finding the end zone. Took a lick. Keeps on ticking. The Alouettes looking good here. Open up a 10-0 lead. Last time these two teams, the Argos opened up a 16-0 lead in Moncton. Then we remember what happened. They gave the lead up and eventually lost. So now challenge on the Argos offense. Shortage kick. Curly Gittins is there. Gittins, who has done a lot of returning on kicks this season. So now the Argos, an offense that just has not been able to get on track this season.
Yeah, it's been a question of consistency because there have certainly been flashes. Obviously, McLeod Bethel Thompson has put up pretty good numbers throwing the football, particularly the second half of the season.
Starts it here to Edwards, who's become a favorite target. You're right. This is a team that passes the ball almost all the time. Fourth in the air, but ninth rushing the football. Their net offense is third last, second last in points. They just can't finish drives.
Yeah, and that's been certainly a big story for this team. Is
here is the first touch for A.J. Oulette. In his first game, guy who wore number 45 when he played at Chip Cox's old team, Ohio University Bobcats. Former wrestler and baseball player, track and field guy, and earned the nickname Bulldozer with the Bobcats.
Yeah, shared some space in that Ohio Bobcats backfield with fellow CFL rookie Hamilton Tiger Cats Canadian running back Malik Irons.
3rd and 1, Bethel Thompson. One thing you see with McLeod Bethel Thompson is that chin strap usually up around his nose a lot, or it's kind of, this time it was almost taken right off.
Offside, Montreal, 5-yard penalty, first down.
Penalty aside, a good surge on the left side of that offensive line for the Toronto Argonauts. A good hard run from McLeod Bethel Thompson. Big body at 230 pounds.
Guy who lost his starting job, James Franklin, then regained the starting job. Puts Edwards in motion. Play clock coming down to 5 seconds. Bethel Thompson launching. Throws Armani Edwards again. It seems to be the main target, but this is going to still remain in the Argos'
Major
hands.
Foul, roughing the passer. Montreal number 94. 15-yard penalty, automatic, first down.
Fabian Foote got to Macbeth.
There's Fabian Foote, another guy who's had big step forward in his development this year. Little uncalled for extra shove from the McMaster product.
Again, no John Bowman tonight, getting a rest. Here is Oulette again. Argos are taking a look, and you'd have to think down these final few games with a team that has been in so much turmoil this season. Only a couple of years removed from a Grey Cup win. Corey Chamberlain coming in, and of course this team firing general manager Jim Popp the last couple of weeks. Future very much up in the air for so many players. I would think the coaching staff as well, and that's what happens when you don't win and you lose a lot. Trying to play for pride here. Nice pass by Bethel Thompson to S.J. Green.
And I would contend, Rod, playing for more than just pride, but playing for jobs, whether it's in Toronto or anywhere else. As the saying goes in football. We'll see A.J. Oulette in the backfield displaying his blocking skills on this play. Picking up Chris Aki there, but I mean, your game film is your resume in the world of football.
You want some film. Bethel Thompson dancing and threw it out of bounds. Second down and 10. There's those 2 zeros. CFL chief statistician, I asked Steve Daniel before the game, how many other guys have worn 00? And he went back a long way. Only one.
And it wasn't that long ago. Defensive back Darius Brooks, or the 0-0 for the Saskatchewan Roughriders.
Chandler Worthy, Chandler 0, Toby Antigua. I'm not so sure a 0 and a 0-0 have ever existed. Perhaps on a basketball court, but from what we understand, we asked Matthew Shinetti to ask Chandler, like, 0-0, why? There had to be a reason for that. He said he was given the number early in the season. They were the designated number. 80 was taken. Antigua likes 0. Worthy gets 0-0. And I'm not sure there's anything metaphorical in all of that this year about the Argo season.
Yeah, I was going to say there's a punchline in there somewhere.
Yep, not going there. Tyler Krapinja from the 41. Kick is up and he buries it. Ties. Puts the Argos on the board. He and Boris Beatty have field goals. Alouettes lead by 7. Former NFLer, former Argo, former Grey Cup MVP, DeVere Posey. Used to those kind of patterns. We've seen those in the past.
Posey and Vernon Adams very much on the same page tonight.
Double cut there for the touchdown. That's the difference in the ball game so far.
Posey has proven to be a terrific signing, a guy who hasn't necessarily played a ton in the Canadian Football League, but has a real veteran presence about him. Great fit with young quarterbacks.
Here's that bubble screen to Jeremiah Johnson with more on DP, DeVere Posey. Let's go down to Matthew.
Well, you're talking about mindset with Vernon Adams Jr., guys, with his dad. Well, there's also a bit of that with DeVere Posey. Earlier this week, when he came out to practice, Vernon Adams Jr. said, and I'm paraphrasing a little bit, that it was really cold. DeVere Posey went right to him and said, well, get over it, because during the Grey Cup, it's going to be cold and it's going to be snowy. That kind of mindset adjustment is something that Posey, who also has the longest touchdown reception in Grey Cup history, you will remember, is trying to give to Vernon Adams Jr., who is at a point in his career where he's never been in a professional sense in uncharted waters going into the playoffs. Guys?
Quick snap on the shotgun flag again. Chino Lewis hauls it in over the top. Impact from Jermaine Gabriel, the free safety.
Offside, Toronto number 58. That penalty be declined. Result of the play, first down.
Eugene Lewis, another of those nearing a 1,000-yard milestone, came in tonight's game leading the Alouettes with 937 yards through the air.
You know what Matthew said rings so true about DeVere Posey, adding that experience. As you mentioned, hasn't played a lot up here, but has played in big games. You think about Posey, Chris Matthews, who's on that receiving corps, big game player. You think about the guys they've added in the secondary. Kahari Jones and the Alouettes brass went out and got winners in the offseason.
Yeah, they certainly did. It's not an accident. Kahari Jones, obviously a big part of that equation as well. Him taking over as head coach, his experience in this league, the credibility and stability that he has brought to the Montreal Alouettes organization. Big.
Awkward snap. Crossing screen. Stand back. Lunging down near the 40. It's been a year of promotion in many ways for Kahari Jones, hasn't it? That's the kind of year you love.
Keep an eye on Stanback. Starts off in the backfield beside Adams. He's able to release with no immediate blocking responsibility there. He gets a little bit of a chip on the D lineman as he sneaks through. But you can very much see the layers or levels in terms of that defensive coverage. And Stanback found himself in open space in between defenders.
Vernon Adams slicing and dicing early on here, and a lot of balance. Something we didn't see from the Alouettes in Winnipeg last week. After that snowstorm there, and Alouettes really didn't resort to a screen game, anything short yardage, and then Vernon ran into trouble in the second half. Keep in mind the Blue Bombers defense just playing at a little different level right now than the Argo defense too.
Yeah, there is certainly that element to things, not just in terms of sort of the overall performance this season, but I think when you talk about stability and continuity, the Argos have gone through a lot of change in terms of personnel over the course of the season.
2nd and 4, and they were able to ensnare the Alouettes. Set up a 3rd and short. Adams looking to the sideline. It's 3rd and almost a yard and a half, almost 2. And they're bringing out Boris Beatty.
Well, Justin Thomas in the middle of that play. Thomas among those fined for his part in the roughhousing. The Argos match up with Ottawa last week.
Yeah, that looked like an election debate. Had a bit of a scrum last week against the Red Blacks. Beatty to restore a 10-point advantage from the 40. Kick is right down the pipe. Alouettes jump to a 13-3 lead on Friday night football. 4 months after bringing this country a championship, they're back at it. Tangerine Raptors basketball gets underway on TSN next Friday. Divisional clash, Raps and Celts. Tip off at 7 Eastern, 4 Pacific on Tuesday. They'll raise the banner up. Scotiabank Arena. Hand out the rings. Raptors open up against Zion Williamson and the New Orleans Pelicans, which should be an interesting year. Championship year. Bethel Thompson again on target once more, and Armani Edwards. Basically, it's been pitch and catch from 4 to 10. A 10-4 night already for the Argos.
Well, they're going to need to either a lot more from these two or a little bit more from everybody else in this offense. Argos obviously don't want to dig themselves in too much of a hole here on the road if they can manage to get some points on the board in this possession, stay pulled within 1 score.
Thompson off his back foot. And leaping just a little too early that time was Armani Edwards. That was maybe a catchable ball had he just waited another second.
Yeah, Edwards, the lone receiver, basically being given half the field to try to get open here. I'm not sure that there was a scenario timing-wise where he was going to get to that. Like, yeah, he jumped early. It just meant he would have missed a little closer, that's all.
Bola combo showing safety blitz, retreats. It's a delayed draw on 2nd and 10. James Wilder. Pink spatting. A lot of players wearing that pink in October. Raising awareness for women's cancers during the month of October. A lot of players pinking out. Think of something that wouldn't resonate with everybody in the game during an important month to raise awareness and funds. Ronnie Peffer had to make a touchdown-saving tackle last time when he punted the ball to Mario Alford. Cutting to the short side, not this time. 10-point Alouette lead. There's the boys standing by. Roderick, Ches, Matty, and Hank. 3 minutes away. Ram at the half coming up. They'll talk about this first half. Talk about game 2 coming up tonight. Saskatchewan and BC. Boy, the West is going to be crazy down the stretch. 3 teams at 10 wins apiece. Who has the better schedule? Who has a better chance with their schedule? Adams, no drop. Steps back and fires to Wenicky. Yeah, if you look at the West, 40, Saskatchewan has a really good chance with strength of schedule. But as we know in the CFL, so tough to predict. 3-minute warning on the field.
And a little Chick-fil-A's Max, the oven top layer had a flavor. Chick-fil-A's cheap, passionate.
With Old Spice, that Montreal with sweat.
Guys, is it right?
Just name. Stand a man who's his friend? Yes. Friend's name is Snow. More like Swims. Brought to you the antiperspirant powerful wet and now Von Miller.
Back in the studio, getting set for halftime with the Alouettes leading the Argonauts. We'll talk about Vernon Adams' bounce-back game after throwing 4 picks last week in Winnipeg, and the Wild West race resuming later tonight with Saskatchewan at BC. That's at the half. Let's go back to Rod and Wayne.
Yes, go West, young man. We'll be talking about the West tonight and tomorrow, Winnipeg and Calgary as well. Vernon Adams clean so far here after a bit of a debacle for him last week in Winnipeg as William Stanback is stopped. He's about 4 yards. I guess it would almost be 3 yards now from 1,000, his first career 1,000-yard rushing season.
A busy first half for Stanback. A lot of credit to the Alouettes offensive staff for the job that they've done play calling, mixing things up, keeping some balance, creating opportunities.
They're good in second down here tonight. Even better now. Stanback takes a hit from Toby Antiga. Abdul Khanet as well in there. But it is very close to another first down. They may have to measure here. Looks like it's going to be 3rd and about 1.5 feet.
Just a quick hitter once again. Let Stanback get in that first level in front of the linebackers.
So
get what you can.
They had to hustle off and hustle back on here. It is 3rd and 1. Right behind center, and he's got to have a push. It's all going to be on the spot. Spot's just over, if you look from our vantage point, the 40-yard line, but they give it to him. They'll move the sticks as you get to the 40.
Yeah, just enough of a soft spot there. See if Adams, we can see him reaching the ball forward there. Yeah, ball's out in front of him. And then dragged back at the end of the play after breaking the plane.
10 straight completions for VA. Here's that blitz once more. Vernon Adams. That was very close to being interference too. Kadarius Ford on a collision downfield as Vernon was stretching it vertically.
Well, you're going to see the blitz come off the edge first, and that's going to force Adams to step up. Watch Bray, he's the middle of those 3 receivers. Right down the hash mark, Adams steps up, throws the strike. Nice break to the football from Kadarius Ford. Did he arrive before the ball?
I think he did. No, maybe not. Looks like Kahari Jones holding that challenge flag. So good hit by Ford. Just at the right time. 2nd and 10. Vernon out of the pocket. Low toss to Bray, and the Alouettes will have to kick.
Rear Intelligent Emergency Braking. Innovative technology designed to help keep your family safe. Available in the Nissan Rogue.
So a 10-point advantage. Vernon Adams going back to look at the tablet here. He had Quan Bray a couple of times.
Yeah, and that was one where kind of want a little less air on the football and throw him more to the inside away from where that defender is coming.
Good chance for Toronto now to get some momentum, much needed momentum before halftime. About 90 seconds to work with. And Rainey going backwards, now zigging and zagging and spinning and going down. Good downfield coverage. Ty Cranston.
And Cranston getting as deep as the football was key as Rainey tried to reverse field there. You see, Cranston's that contained guy, forces him right initially. As Rainey comes back, Cranston maintains that contained responsibility. He's not going to let him get to the sideline. Forces him inside to where all his help is. Well played.
Bethel Thompson might have a catch on that far sideline. Chandler Worthy. Where not Worthy? What a catch that was. Down the rail, 32 yards, biggest Argo play from scrimmage.
Key to this, watch how he keeps running. He's not running with his arms outstretched. He waits until the last second. Worthy on the outside, waits till the last second to put his arms out. Running with your arms outstretched while the ball's in the air is just going to slow you down. He knows he's going to need every inch on that one. Keeps the arms pumping to the last second, then makes that last second grab for the ball.
Thompson over the middle. A minute to go, and so the Argos try to get to the end zone, put points on the board, but this is the catch of the night so far. Catch so far of Chandler Worthy's brief Canadian Football League career. Beauty.
Yeah, nice effort, Worthy, a guy who's kicked around the Toronto Argos for a couple of years. Both receiver and kick returner. Then getting an opportunity to draw in the lineup tonight in the absence of Burrell Walker.
Armani Edwards clutching on second down. It will be third down. First down marker to the 39 of Montreal. So they're just spotting it and will mark it. From here, it's close. They got a favorable spot. Might be third down. 40 seconds to work with for McLeod Bethel Thompson. See that? Short, just inches, third down. Again tonight, Worthy, Armani Edwards, the main targets for McLeod Bethel Thompson. To get S.J. Green going.
SJ again came into the game 103 yards away from 1,000 on the season.
He's got 14 tonight so far. Third down. Sneak time for Bethel Thompson. Easily done with that big frame, McLeod Bethel Thompson, who can run the football.
Yeah, just a costly one in terms of time. Toronto had to use that play to pick up the first down when they were just inches away. It cost them about 9-10 seconds on the clock.
You think that most plays take about 8 to 10 seconds. Chance for really only 2 plays here, then you might have to contemplate kicking a field goal. Maybe take half the yardage to the end zone on this play and then get another play in. Clock management. Remember what happened in Moncton. Ran out of time. Seconds left in the half. There's what should have been half that yardage, and now they're going to have to stretch it out even more. S.J. Green, the target thrown behind him.
Yeah, S.J. got into a seam in between zone defenders over there. The ball thrown behind him, as you can see. Virtually impossible adjustment to be able to get to that one.
Well, the key right now, too, is the first down. So you can get another shot. Otherwise, you'd have to trot Rapina out. Alouettes bring the house. Bethel Thompson, deep drop. In the post. Down he goes. And how costly was that? Because now, on third down, this field goal is going to be near a 50-yarder. Pocket just closed, and look at the bodies coming at NBT.
Yeah, didn't have a feel for Antonio Simmons coming from the backside. But after his receiver, Chandler Worthy, who I think ran the wrong route, I'd say what we had there was a failure to communicate between quarterback and receiver.
Might have. 50-yarder for Krapina. Longest this season is 50. Chris Aki has it. There is a flag down. And how costly. And you know that 20-second sequence for the Argos is kind of like their season so far.
Yeah. No yards. Toronto, that penalty is declined. The half is over.
Murphy's Law in so many ways for the Toronto Argonauts. What can go wrong will go wrong. And a kick that is just altered at the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, former McMaster Marauder. Fabian Foote blocking the kick of former McMaster Marauder. Tyler Krapinja could make things a little awkward at homecoming this weekend.
Yes, it could. 13-3 the lead for the Alouettes on Friday Night Football. Let's send it back to the studio with Henry Burris and Matt Dunnigan, Davis Sanchez, and our man, Rod Smith. Welcome back to Friday Night Football. Boys are all here, and the ones putting on the show are the Alouettes, leading 13-3 at the half. Here's Argos head coach Corey Chamberlain with our Matthew Shinetti.
Corey, I know some opportunities were left out there on the field, but what do you think of the fight from your team so far?
You know, right now the score is 13-3, and we had a block kick right here at the end. Had some opportunities to stay on the field, but we didn't. I mean, right now we're in it. If you're in it, you got a chance to win it. We got to come back. We have the ball now. We got to use this drive to get a score and put us right where we need to be and win the game.
I understand you can still win this game. Any chance we might see Dakota Prukop or Michael O'Connor, though?
Yeah, there's a chance those guys might. You know, we'll see how it goes in the next little bit, and we'll continue to go from there.
Thanks, Coach.
Thank you.
Yeah, Michael Connor, the Canadian quarterback out of Ottawa, played at UBC and Penn State. Saw him warming up before this game. Looked like there'd be a chance he'd get some reps, but again, it might depend on how this game goes. We might see him tonight. Chris Rainey almost brought down, and again, flags have littered the field over the first two quarters. Why wouldn't we have a flag on the first play to start the second half? It's been a clean game in terms of turnovers.
Toronto number 89. 10-yard penalty, first down.
No turnovers yet, but again, a lot of penalties.
Well, and this latest penalty presents something of an opportunity for the Montreal Alouettes if they're able to get a quick stop, short field, maybe an opportunity to add to their lead very early here in the second half. You saw the font under Corey Chamberlain's name during that interview with Matthew Shinetti, 1-9 and trailing at halftime.
Number, hard to believe, gets worse after 3. They are 0-10 when they trail, so that kind of season for the Argos. Again, a team that just had 4 wins last year, coming off a Grey Cup victory. It's certainly a hangover. Hangover crept into this year, 3-12. Argos 3-10 on second down conversions. They get one this time. It's S.J. Green. Guy whose career began right here on this field wearing Alouette colors. And he has built a remarkable career. And you know what? Showing no signs of seeing the end of the road. Old Man River just keeps rolling along.
Yeah, well, you consider what S.J. Green has been through in his career, essentially missing the entire 2016 season in Montreal with serious knee injury. People thought there's a pretty good chance he was done at that point. But dealt to the Toronto Argonauts, where Mark Trestman and Jim Popp, the general manager and head coach with whom he had great success in Montreal, had just taken over and kind of breathed new life into his career.
2nd and 5. Had it between receivers that time, and Jimmy Ralph looking, was that you? Was that me? And yeah, there was a miscommunication. I noticed McLeod Bethel-Thompson's a little more animated with some of his receiving core here tonight. And I think that word might be frustration.
Well, and you wonder, though, if maybe there has been advice given to McLeod Bethel-Thompson about taking charge, being more of a leader, maybe being a little tougher sometimes in terms of getting after his teammates and getting people on the same page.
Mario Alford back again. Good kick by Peffer. Alford. Out of bounds. Good starting point, though, for the Alouettes, who lead 13-3, second half on Friday Night Football. William Stanback stands a couple yards away from a first for him in the Canadian Football League.
And again, this was one of the parts put in place a year ago for the Montreal Alouettes. William Stanback, a guy who they just couldn't keep off the field. His rapid development led to the trade of Terrell Sutton to BC. We'll see Sutton tomorrow with his new team, the Hamilton Tiger Cats.
There it is. There he goes. Over 1,000 yards for the first time. Last time an Alouette running back achieved that milestone, his name was Terrell Sutton back in 2015. So congratulations to Will Stanback. And you know, with a couple games after this left, there is a chance that William Stanback, if he goes off, he could take a run at Andrew Harris in that rushing time.
Yeah, well, and you never know, and you never know too, as playoff spots get firmed up, as they already have been in the East, how teams are going to choose to use or not use some of their key players over these last couple of weeks of the regular season.
Violent collision over the top, incomplete pass. The other thing is, do you want your running back, you're going to the playoffs for the first time in a long time and you're starting to chase records or numbers? Does it really, really matter when the goal is not that clearly here in Montreal?
Yeah, much bigger goals.
That was the Alouettes' first 2 and out, induced by the Argos defense, so they stand firm here to open the second half. Boris Beatty moves this one to that Montreal skyline and has a little backspin on it. Rainey will get a no yards call, an extra 5 yards on the play. Argos bring their offense on the field.
Welcome to Zombieland.
Get in.
You know why she's still alive? Because zombies eat brains, and she ain't got any.
Zombieland, double tap.
King, good call. Like to say I'm looking forward to that one.
Yes, sir. Sounds the club, baby. We have 2 fouls on the play. Holding, Toronto number 84. No yards, Montreal number 85. We'll balance those, it'll be first down.
So after all of that, Argos will start at the 36-yard line. Argo team just 3 wins on the season. One of those coming last week against Ottawa.
And a 6-receiver set here for the Argos, emptying the backfield.
Empty it out. And moving closer again. S.J. Green to Earl Winfield, number 15 on the all-time yardage list.
Well, here you see the race, essentially. I mentioned Argos with the empty backfield. They're gambling that they can get a receiver open. We've got Montreal gambling that with a limited number of people in the protection scheme that they can get to McLeod Bethel-Thompson before he can throw the ball, but the speed of the Argos receivers processing was a little bit faster that time.
They pitch it out. They will maybe... No, they're going to lose a yard here. Chandler Worthy. S.J. Green might be seeing some ball on this down. And if he gets more than 3 yards, climbs the ladder again. Last week, 10,000 yards. reached for his career, and 3 yards away now from Earl Winfield at number 15 all time. Most importantly for the Argos, a first down. Bethel Thompson looks, and Armani Edwards. It's going to be short by about a half yard.
I think amongst all the other decisions that the Toronto Argonauts organization needs to make during the offseason, one of the most interesting to me is going to be, what do you do with McLeod Bethel Thompson? An expiring contract, but a guy who has had some moments this season.
Yeah, he has had some flashes, and he's had a lot of this, by the way, losing his helmet, and told us yesterday, you know, we've kind of joked a little bit. You see that chin strap often askew, and McLeod Bethel Thompson yesterday said, you know, he doesn't feel like he's playing football if his chin strap isn't on right. Well, that time he lost the whole lid.
Yeah, he's just ready for his close-up.
That should be a first down. Bringing out the sticks. Might be closer than we anticipated here. It's a first down. So back to McLeod Bethel Thompson. I mean, among the many decisions that Brass will have to make on so many sides of the football, he has shown flashes, great flashes at times.
But, you know, I mean, I think that one of the other pieces that goes along with that decision-making for the Toronto Argonauts is you're also talking about a quarterback who's into his 30s, and you sort of start to wonder, okay, is there still a significant upside because he's a guy who until now hasn't had an opportunity to play a lot because he's bounced around different places, or because of his age, do you think that he's...
Face mask, Montreal number 20, 15-yard penalty, automatic, first down.
Bola combo, face mask moves the ball deep into Montreal territory. But he has bounced around. He's been with so many teams, Bethel Thompson. And here's the combo now, grabbing the grill.
Yeah, that penalty aside, Bola combo has been a bit of a revelation at free safety for the Montreal Alouettes.
Bethel Thompson gets hit. Fight down the hole. What a catch! What a catch! And they're saying that Chandler Worthy is down near the 1. Chandler Worthy is having a highlight-worthy night in so many ways. Another great catch.
Yeah, terrific job. Again, let's see where the down by contact happens. Was the ball past the front plane of the goal line? Because I suspect it might have been when Tommy Campbell, who, by the way, is not in load management tonight, late lineup change for the Alouettes.
So, Bethel Thompson has his first touchdown of the season rushing, but there is a flag
offside,
down the far side.
Montreal, that penalty be declined. Touchdown.
That was an impressive drive, aided by penalty. But Chandler Worthy, you talk about auditioning for next year. Here is a guy who right now has moved to top of the list on the audition list.
Yeah, well, it certainly has, and you know, it's kind of a funny one when you think about some of the ones who have gotten away from the Toronto Argonauts. Guys having success around the league who have previously been with Toronto and maybe had limited opportunities. Chandler Worthy, a guy who's hung around for a couple years and now really getting a chance here tonight, making the most of it.
Tyler Krapina converts, 3-point ball game thanks to double zeros. Another beauty. 2 of those tonight, and then MBT with the TD moves the Argos closer on Friday Night Football. Under center, close to goal lines. Keep in mind, McLeod Bethel-Thompson, his first rushing touchdown of 2019. Last year, he found the end zone a couple of times. James Franklin found it 14 times. He's only been in the end zone twice this year, and I think it says a lot about the inability for the Argos to punch the ball to the end zone when they're in tight.
Yeah, well, we talked about McLeod Bethel-Thompson's season and how there have been flashes, and that's been a little bit of the story. Is you need more than flashes. You need sustained success, sustained drives, ability to finish.
Keon Julian Grant has a block, and another. Able to get outside. Nice return. Oh, they're loving Chandler. Big game worthy. Big plays in a 3-point game.
Blinding snowstorms and sheets of black ice won't stop these heroes of the highway from keeping trucking routes open. An all-new highway through hell. Now on Mondays at 10 Eastern, 7 Pacific, only on Discovery.
That was so good. I want to watch that just because of that voiceover. I'm Dwayne Ford.
I think you speak for the nation, Rod.
I do. A grateful nation. Jeremiah Johnson stonewalled right near the 32-yard line. A loss of 3 yards on the play. Maybe a little more. Makes you wonder, too, as the Owls approach the playoffs, how their ratio will work, how they will be able to implement, if they can, Stanback and Johnson together.
Yeah, well, this is a team that's been given a lot of flexibility by its Canadians on defense, particularly the combination at linebacker of Mwamba and Aki.
Vernon Adams escapes with touchdown, and then he gets crushed. Oh boy, what a shot.
Well,
as the Argos came humming, and Keenan Gilchrist has his 4th sack of the season.
Yeah, you'll see as Adams starts to scramble, Gilchrist retracing his steps upfield. Adams didn't see him coming at all from the outside, and you wonder if this might affect just how long Vernon Adams stays in tonight's game.
Yeah, that was dangerous. It was not registered as a sack. He just did pick up a half yard. It's still a huge play. Rainey reverses course. Yikes. Ouch. Painful night. Vernon Adams gets crunched. Argos with some momentum here in the second half. Vernon Adams is okay. That's the good news for the Alouettes. Boy, what a risky run from cover.
And here you'll see he's looking upfield, kind of glancing to the inside. Doesn't see the shot coming from that outside at all. He's just getting tripped up by Kadarius Ford as Gilchrist arrives to lower the boom. A great look from Tom Valesi, our referee.
And again, you worry about things like this in a year where so many quarterbacks have been banged up. Vernon shakes his head. He looks like he's okay. He'll be back at it. You almost get a feeling for Vernon Adams. It would take a lot to get him off the field. Did have a suspension this season. Nicked up a little bit. Gilchrist, another Appalachian State star, getting his team going. Got a little mojo now. Continues. Sir Rodney Smith.
Rodney Smith. Here's McLeod Bethel-Thompson's favorite target the last time these teams met. Quiet night thus far. Nice catch there to move the sticks for the double blue.
Florida State product, Rodney Smith. RPO. Reads it, throws it. Jimmy Ralph, busy night tonight for him too. Another Argo first down. Where was this in the first half?
Well, I think when you look at some of the trends for the Toronto Argonauts, one of them would be they've had some very good quarters, some very good halves even. but rarely have they put together 60 minutes, so not a shock to see them kind of find some momentum. But as you said, where was it earlier?
Oh, wide open! Rodney Smith. There was no one around him except the front row of the bleachers. He was so wide open and then had to concentrate because that was not a ball that was right on target.
Bethel Thompson stands in there, takes a hit to make a throw. Gets his helmet slightly dislodged again. But yeah, fortunately, he was rushed on that throw and couldn't lead Rodney Smith to the inside a little bit more to keep him in bounds. Terrific throw. Terrific concentration from both quarterback and receiver.
How about this? 9 first downs for the Argos in the second half. None for the Alouettes. What a complete script flip in this third quarter. Now setting up second and manageable.
I'll tell you what, just that ball had just been thrown inside slightly more, Rodney Smith would have been saying hasta la vista.
Baby. It's kind of like movie night here. Second and 5. Bethel Thompson shouts out some signals. Over the top, good catch. Down near the 5-yard line. And it's SJ again. So now SJ Green puts his name above another former CFL superstar.
SJ Green making the most of his size advantage over the halfback, Greg Reed, who's right there in coverage. But Green with the advantage and size and reach, able to win that battle for the football.
Number 15 now ahead of Earl Winfield. Arno's looking to put it in, and of course it would be SJ Green in his old home. 15th all-time in yardage. Another touchdown, and the Toronto Argonauts have silenced Molson Stadium here. And it's the former Alouette who has done it, SJ Green.
And a nice combination of routes there by the two receivers. The corner sitting outside. They sent the first crosser inside to pull the halfback away, and then Green, with the outside stem, follows back into the space vacated by the halfback.
Well, the Argos defense has initiated this with a couple of 2-and-outs that have been forced. This Toronto Argonaut team out of the locker room, completely different than what we saw in the first half.
Well, they are much more efficient, much more consistent. Out of the gate, here's the touchdown drive. Covered 83 yards in 6 plays. Took about 3 minutes off the clock, 2 minutes, 57 seconds. And you saw the big play to Rodney Smith, and then back-to-back strikes. Bethel Thompson to Green for the touchdown.
And it keeps checking boxes and players off the list, SJ Green does. Bethel Thompson watching that drive himself. Next up is number 14, Tommy Joe Coffey. Likely will pass him this season. And onward and upward and onward and upward. And again, also another guy playing for what exists next. Will he be an Argo next season? Will he be elsewhere? True pro, class act, SJ Green. Julian Grant on the return. One of the best sets of hands this league has ever seen.
Yeah, knack for the spectacular. Teammates paying homage.
Look at the difference in yardage from where we left you at halftime. Looked like the Alouettes took a break. Now they've got to wake up. Down 4. Pulling it back. Giving it to Jeremiah Johnson.
And again, as we talk about keeping people healthy for the playoffs and so on, you wonder if there may be a little bit of a movement from the Montreal Alouettes, not just to get Johnson on the field with William Stanback, but to make sure Johnson gets maybe more than his share of touches as well and keeping Stanback healthy.
First down of the second half. Have been 0 for 2, 6 for 14 in the game. Cleon Lang slow to get up, clutching that hand. Is he going to go to the sideline? He is.
Well, and I suspect as Vernon Adams tucked this ball and took off, he was doing so in recognition of the fact that his team desperately needed the offense to stay on the field, put something together here, quell the Argos' momentum, and give his own defense a break.
Again, looking for that winning record. They've already got a playoff spot secure. Johnson. Collision up near the 50-yard line, but at the same time, this is great adversity, pressure simulation that you're going to have to encounter if your goal is to win the Grey Cup.
Yeah, and we talked off the top in this ball game about the desire from a Montreal perspective, and we talked about Vernon Adams specifically to see how he responds to adversity, coming off a tough game in Winnipeg last week, but even more so within a game. And I think this is something that the Alouettes have proven, that, you know, a group that has been dubbed the comeback kids with a couple of their performances this year, that within a game they are very good at bouncing back from adversity. And they're rolling with the punches in the course of a game and not getting too down when the other team makes some plays and starts to take hold a little bit. That Adams has proven to be one of those guys who can change the tide in a hurry.
Well, you can label it a tune-up game for the postseason. Still 2 more games after this for the Als, against Hamilton and then Ottawa and then TBA. We've already sold 10,000 tickets for that East semifinal. Final play, third quarter. Adams. That could have been ugly. Incomplete, looking for Chris Matthews. Targeted him for the first time tonight. What a quarter by the Argos. They've taken the lead, quietening Molson Stadium on Friday Night Football.
There's a drink for that.
By Vernon Adams and the Alouettes. We saw that in the first half. How about the bounce back by the Argos after halftime? 11-2 first downs in that third quarter, and the Argos have catapulted themselves into the lead here heading to the fourth. What's the challenge right now for Vernon Adams and the Alouettes?
Well, I mean, the biggest thing is just putting together a couple of drives and starting to get that traction back. The opportunities are still there to make plays, and I thought that there was one that they just missed, that near connection between Adams and Chris Matthews. But it's just a matter of making plays. They were making some of them in the first half, have yet really to make any in the second half, and has cost them, has opened the doors for a Toronto Argonaut team that, quite frankly, considering that they're playing for nothing in the standings, they look like a bunch of guys that really have something at stake here, and that's what you want to see.
Their jobs for next year. Adams faced some duress that time, had to chuck it away. I tell you, DeVere Posey also went to the locker room trying to get an update on that. That's not good news for the Alouettes. Again, that's the risk you have when you got these games that don't mean anything in the standings, and you have to look ahead, and you can't just lay down. You can't shut it off and then turn it on in the postseason. You still have to play. Right now, the Argos showing tons of fight for a team not going to the postseason. Boris Beatty's been below his average tonight, punting the football. This is a better one. Chris Rainey looking for some blocks. Alouette special teams have been hovering like vultures all night. Nowhere to go. Let's go down to Matthew now with an injury update.
Absolutely right. Let's deal with Revere Posey first. I didn't see anything that he was favoring. However, the medical staff of the Alouettes took his helmet away. He walked into the locker room, then Alouettes doctors followed him. You're also noting William Stanback is no longer on the field. That is because he just wanted to reach, the team, I should say, wanted him to reach his 1,000-yard mark for the season, and then he was going to rest the rest of the night, guys.
All right, so they shut down Stanback. And he's going to stay warm on a cool night. Temperature plummeting. That time of year when the playoffs are near. Bethel Thompson turns back and he was able to complete that pass. Crowd thought for a moment was an interception.
I think the whole stadium thought it was an interception by the way Tommy Campbell rolled forward after he dove for this football. Quick hitter out on the left side. That must have gone right under the armpit of Tommy Campbell. Literally right through his arms.
Monty Edwards was surprised too. Drive alive again. Bethel Thompson's been sharp here. And there goes Ouellette, the bulldozer from Ohio. And Ouellette, I'm sure, with friends and family watching down south, a small town. Covington, Ohio, played in Athens at Ohio University, the Bobcats, and it's his first CFL game.
Yeah, we've talked a little bit about the Ohio Bobcats before, a program that's had some success in recent years, recruiting Canadians. In fact, the Wolf brothers, 2 Canadian quarterbacks currently on their roster.
Laying it into Rodney Smith again. He wants a face mask call, not getting it.
Give an indication of the size and strength of Rodney Smith.
Patrick Levels ripping the helmet off. Thompson passing again, going deep, big shot, has his man, no.
Well, that would
What's
have been
wrong with this guy? I mean, come on, can he catch everything?
Well, it is the burst to the football of Chandler Worthy, because when this ball is thrown, he's the outside guy closest to the top of your screen here. When this ball is thrown, you're thinking, oh, too bad he overthrew him. And watch, Worthy keeps running, arms at the last second. You know, and he had a shot at this one, but Najee Murray wraps him up, preventing him from bringing the arms completely forward to secure that one. Otherwise, Chandler Worthy would have had a third one for his single game highlight reel.
First CFL sack.
There you see Roland James at the right defensive end spot. Again, he's getting an opportunity to play tonight as John Bowman rests up. You know, you wondered what kind of pass rush the Alouettes might get tonight without John Bowman, who came into this game with 8 of the 16 sacks recorded by Alouette defensive linemen.
And give the Alouettes a good starting point as they try to battle back now. On Roland James, a night and a sack he won't forget. Trying to get a W here at home. CraftHeinzProjectPlay.com to cast your vote on who should take home the $250,000 grand prize for your community. In Montreal tonight, season winding down, week 19. Alouettes trying to get their 9th win of the season, trying to avoid falling to 500. Jake Wenicky on a crosser. Underutilized tonight. Big second play guy. Wenicky out of South Dakota State has 21 yards on that.
Poise in the pocket from Vernon Adams, standing in, progressing through his reads, waiting till Wenicky comes open across the middle into Argo territory.
Again, we'll have to get an update on the receiving core and who's in, who's out. Jeremiah Johnson scored! Touchdown! Dance, young man, dance!
But magnificently executed. By the Montreal Alouettes. A couple of huge blocks. Some nice moves by Jeremiah Johnson.
Scored his first touchdown as an Alouette in Moncton against the Argonauts. A team that he once was a member of. That's how he came to the Canadian Football League with Toronto originally, then to Ottawa, then to BC, and now in Alouette. And you'd have to figure will be a prominent part of the playoff picture for the Alouettes, especially after this 40.
Yeah, it's the burst. Jeremiah Johnson just ran away from him. He got a great block right at the point of attack. Watch big 66, Trey Rutherford. He's just behind the official. Just blasted Shaq Richardson out of the way. A little bit of a size mismatch there. Rutherford, the number 2 overall pick in the 2018 CFL draft. Out of Yukon, beating away.
I came back for that. Anyway, back and forth they go. This game starting to resemble the game in the Maritimes. And Moncton came down to the last second. Mike tonight as well. Rainey from his 5. Argo's looking to respond. Rainey, good return. Up near the 35-yard line. 10 minutes to go. Back to a 3-point Alouette lead.
And here you see it again. Create a little bit of flow right with the throw back to the left.
Johnson got those dance steps. He can cut back and forth.
Terrific run from him and Trey Rutherford. His fellow lineman and coaching staff recognize the work he did on that play.
Well, Argo was down on the return. It's Chris Rainey in considerable amount of pain. Will step aside, come back to Percival Molson Stadium in Montreal. Al's leading 2017. Chris Rainey limping to the sideline. Gingerly. Right ankle, perhaps.
Yeah, tough to tell as he gets sandwiched here on the tackle, and then it's a lot of legs tangled up. It almost looked as if it may have been twisted in the landing and pile up there.
Pile up initiated by Felix Faubert-Lucier and Spencer Moore, a couple of national players, work on special teams and also offense. S.J. Green. Last week, historic game for S.J. 700th career catch, 10,000 yards, gets the W, player of the week.
Well, and an opportunity as an encore to go over 1,000 with a big fourth quarter.
39 yards away from another 1,000-yard season. That's saying something for a 3-win team. James Wilder's best romp of the night into Alouette territory. 13 yards on his 5th carry of the ball game.
The Argos haven't turned to their running game much here tonight. Big burst there from Wilder. Fullback Declan Cross leading the way.
Animated McLeod Bethel Thompson. More than we've seen, and he's a pretty animated guy. Drifts it out to Wilder. Levels him. Second down, throwing down again for the Argo offense. They still need about another 7 or 8 yards to get in field goal range, if they can, to tie this.
As you anticipate, the Argos passing the football here. But it'll be interesting to see what the Alouettes do to try and get a little bit of heat on the Argo quarterback in the absence of their best pass rusher, John Bowman.
Looking for S.J. on second down, and as mentioned, too far away for a field goal. They'll have to hunt it into a position battle here. Field goal would be about a 57-yarder. They're not even trying that. Peffer will come out, and Ronnie Peffer is going to try to angle one to that coffin corner, but the wind is kind of behind him. He's had 2 inside the 10-yard line this season. Again, Mario Alford back-to-back weeks. He's returned to the house. This one is going to fly out of bounds.
Going to be a flag.
And that's a penalty. The ball flies between the 20s. A flag will fly. It gives the Alouettes an even more advantageous starting position on Friday Night Football.
Alouettes are up 20-17 over the Toronto Argonauts. The comeback kids of these Montreal Alouettes have brought back the energy here in Montreal. It's undeniable. A few weeks ago, we saw the fans hold up their cell phone lights, and it was quite an energetic moment when you talk to some of these players, even players like DeVere Posey and Vernon Adams, who have played in front of tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of people in college. They say the energy here in Montreal is unlike anything other. And you think about those wins against Calgary and Winnipeg, they say when we're on the field, the energy as it is like this feels like there's so many more people around us, guys.
Yeah, and it's getting better and better, Matthew, and the buzz continues. And you know, they've been trying to find the elixir ever since they've had the retirements of so many great players, including, of course, one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time, Anthony Calvillo, and coincidentally the drop-off in attendance, but mostly due to a lack of success. Isn't it funny what winning does?
You put a good product on the field, competitive football team, an exciting football team. The fans tend to get behind it.
And right you are, mirroring their team with energy. Good pass, Vernon Adams, and he's kind of been the Pied Piper in so many ways, following the lead of his head coach, who routinely dances on the sidelines when the song comes up that he likes. Good pass, good catch, Gino Lewis.
Lewis again, good awareness, sort of slowing up, getting the feet down in bounds, securing that catch.
Yeah, these Als players, many who have never experienced La Belle Provence and the Joie de Vivre, they're loving it. And former quarterback. And look at Jeremiah Johnson carrying a convoy.
We talk about a team being energized by the crowd and vice versa. Look no further than this play from Jeremiah Johnson. Good hard run. He keeps the legs going. It's a couple teammates in behind. Keep that pile moving. He gets up and responds to the crowd right away.
Carrying an Argo ship on his back. Why not go right back to him? And Kahari Jones knows that this crowd loves its football team when the buzz is in the air.
They enjoy the game. They're very knowledgeable fans. They know what's going on. They know when to kind of quiet down and help us out. They know when to get loud, and they just yeah, they're a lot of fun. They're a lot of fun. It's like the city of Montreal. You know, they know how to have a good time, and our team knows how to have a good time too. Which kind of, I think that it's a good mix, because we got a good group of guys that work hard and play hard, and that's what our fans do too.
Case in point. Crowd loving. Vernon Adams, who goes freelance.
And that just might be when Vernon Adams becomes most dangerous. A quarterback draw.
Great block downfield from Gino Lewis. And this energy that was snuffed out by the Argos, you can feel it here in this stadium. It's bringing back memories of the glory days here in Montreal. You'll hear them explode if they find the end zone. Explosion. Boom. Go the Alouettes. Make no mistake. The CFL and the Alouettes are back in Montreal.
I love the execution here from Vernon Adams. Pressure is coming in the form of safety blitz from his left. He sees it and buys himself a little bit of time by drifting to his right. Doesn't panic, doesn't rush. He knows if he can just buy that split second moving away from the safety, Tremaine Gabriel, that Quanbray is going to be open down the middle, gets just enough time and throws an absolute strike for the touchdown.
May have just sealed their 9th win here tonight. Make it a 2-possession ball game. Argos were fighting back. And the Alouettes then, thanks to their rabid, frenetic fan base that is charging them up. VA to Bray. And Quan Bray, after the Adams scamper, has touchdown number 5 as a member of the Montreal Alouettes. Great catch, great play, great atmosphere here in Montreal.
Well, it sure is. You can feel the electricity on that entire drive, start to finish.
Yeah, they got something special cooking here. We have been here from the AC days, and then AC after Calvillo, and they suffered here quite a bit, this team. The fans stayed away, and the Alouettes did a lot of losing.
Kahari's got the whole stadium dancing now.
The dancing machine coach following his lead. Had a big night. And don't count the Argos out just quite yet. McLeod Bethel-Thompson's been really good here in the second half. That last drive, though, think about how that affected the ball game. They don't get the first down. They can't kick a field goal. They give it back to Montreal. The Alouettes drive the field with a potential game-winning drive.
Yeah, drive the field, eat up some clock, and make it a 2-score football game, making life very tough on an Argonaut team that, as we've talked about, has trouble finishing at the best of times.
Starting to look a lot like what it was in Moncton, 28-22 final. And there's an injured Argo on the near sideline. So he has to, Freddie Bishop has to go all the way across now. But again, in Moncton, Argo snipped back and came within an eyelash of knocking off Montreal. Don't forget, right after this, send it to the West Coast, to Vancouver. Lions and Saskatchewan Roughriders. Game 2, Week 19, doubleheader tomorrow as well. Roughriders looking to set the pace atop the West.
A whole big game of who's on first, or who's in first, at least. All coming down to these final 3 weeks.
Bethel-Thompson. I'm not sure. They'll likely have one more play before the 3-minute warning, and another injured Argo. No, they're going to give it the warning now. VA. They call him Big Play VA. Big Play VA. Quan Bray. Touchdown, Alouettes. They lead by 10.
Head off to BC Place. Odell Willis and the Lions, they're out, but they are still a factor in the race for first place in the West, hosting the Saskatchewan Roughriders, who are tied with Calgary at 10-5 on top of the division. Let's go back to Montreal. Rod and Dwayne.
We'll follow that one, and we've got 3 minutes left here. Argo's down 2 possessions. Thompson incomplete. Vernon Adams Jr., 3 touchdown passes tonight. See the guy behind him right there. Now in civvies. That might not be good news for the Owls. Severe Posey, and I'm sure there's concern. We'll have to wait till after the game to find out what exactly is wrong, but they don't want to be missing one of their key ingredients to their mix heading to the postseason.
And recognizing it as well that if key guys like that are getting nicked up in this ball game, they're going to shut them down.
Bethel-Thompson under cover and completed pass to S.J. Green in what has been a clean ball game so far. Remember, Vernon Adams threw 4 interceptions last week. Argos are prone to turnovers. We haven't had one here tonight. 18 yards. Don't go away yet. Argos score here. They can make it really interesting. They can score in a hurry. They don't need an onside kick. Not this time. Jimmy Ralph can't hang on.
Bethel-Thompson takes a shot in the chest just as he throws that football. Najee Murray in for the pass breakup.
Understand from Matthew Shinetti down on the sideline, a bruised thigh. So for the Alouettes and their faithful, may not be too serious. 2.5 to go. 3-man rush. Bethel-Thompson on an out pattern. It's going to be a 3rd down play, though. Chandler Worthy. Really ball game on this play if the Argos can't get the first down. As mentioned, to score a convert, you probably don't need the onside kick if you can do it here in the next 20 or 30 seconds. If you can get a first down and a touchdown, maybe able to get it back.
If they were in a little closer, there would be the debate here on 3rd down of BC take the field goal when you're down by 10.
Looks like they're going to get the first down just. S.J. Green piling up the real estate. The Green Party.
Overlooked as the Alouettes have made this comeback, so to speak, in the second half. McLeod Bethel Thompson has been a pretty nice rhythm throwing the football against the Owls pressure package.
Far side. Armani Edwards close to a first down. Problem is they're using up a lot of time. The more they use, if they do score, they're likely going to have to use an onside kick. There's a flag down. Bethel Thompson over 300 yards passing. So illegal contact on a receiver. And as
illegal contact, Montreal number 3, 10-yard penalty, first down.
And as jubilant as this Montreal crowd has been over the last few minutes, they still may not be celebrating quite yet.
Keep an eye on Patrick Levels here. It's like incidental contact as S.J. Green went to run that sort of double move, faking the out and trying to come underneath.
2 minutes remain. 4-man rush. Bethel Thompson over the top, checking it down to James Wilder. It'll be second and short, but again, every play using up valuable ticks. Injured Alouette now.
And Tommy Campbell, the corner, grabbing his knee.
And he's going to make his own way. And he just got tangled up, but
yeah, it looked like got a cleat caught in the turf there. He tried to change direction to come back inside.
Sometimes those innocuous plays, though, can do damage, especially when you jar your knee. Now, he's on the near sideline, but he has to go to the Alouette sideline. So I'm not sure if Tommy and the training staff know that they still have to make it to the other side.
And, you know, I mean, obviously you don't want to get ahead of yourself in trying to diagnose what may have happened, but it looked like he might have hyperextended that knee a little bit when his cleat got caught.
Now they're walking down the sideline. Now they'll make their way across. Oh, Tommy's still on the sideline. And he's being escorted by the official. Who I'm sure is telling them, you got to go this way. So again, a 10-point game. Kahari Jones, a look of concern. His team vaulting back into the lead. Again, a game that is inconsequential to the standings. The Alouettes a chance to go to 9-7. Argos trying to pick up their 4th win. This is taking a long, long time for a guy who really isn't being helped to this sideline, but really going on his own accord. Now McLeod Bethel Thompson. How many times has this dude been in situations like this since he came north of the border?
Yeah.
He's had some success, those flashers you talked about. But unfortunately for the Argos, too many of them have come up short.
Yeah, and it is a process, and this is where I say, I mean, the balance you got to find in evaluating Bethel Thompson is, are you looking at his age, quarterback in his 30s, or are you looking at his experience? A guy who basically has been a starter for 1 year in his entire professional career.
That play got a first down, but 1:40 to go. And again, if the Argos can score, more and more looking like they're going to have to perform some magic with an onside kick. Bethel Thompson moves the pocket, looks, and it's caught. And down to the 5. Armani Edwards loses his lid. And a flag down. Was it a horse collar? Was it a roughing call against the Alouettes?
Yeah, we'll see if anything happens.
Montreal number 21. Half the distance to the goal. Automatic. First down.
Yeah, more of a helmet grab of anything.
Yeah, the flyby. Here comes Chris Aki. Brings him down by the helmet.
Only goes half the distance because normally it would be a 15-yarder. They've got to score here to get any chance. Well, memories of Moncton. Argos making it interesting. Bethel Thompson fires, and it's a touchdown. Chandler Worthy. What an impressive night this cat has had tonight. His first Argo touchdown. Couple of highlight reel catches and makes some contributions in a huge way.
Yeah, certainly making the most of the opportunity he's been given tonight. Playing in place of a nicked up Darrell Walker.
And now an extremely important point after. That would make it a 3-point ball game. If the Argos can get the ball back, would be a Tyler Krapinja field goal away. But now Krapinja has to hit this. Must make. Play 72-yard drive by the Argos. Bounce them right back. Krapinja does it. Chandler Worthy. What a night you've had, young man.
Providing a couple of the Argos' biggest highlights early in this ball game. See laying out for that catch down the sidelines, and again, no, that was not the same play twice. Couple terrific efforts, and he's rewarded now with the touchdown.
4 games last time he played with the Argos back in 2017. 2 games in 2019. His first CFL touchdown. And 1:14 to go. This is where you love the live mic. Know exactly what was happening.
Yeah, find out the plans down there.
Live mic game tomorrow. Coming up, Lions Rough Riders from BC Place.
It'll be the hands team out there from Montreal, certainly anticipating the short kick with 1:14 to go. Had the Argos been able to score quickly, they might have been kicking deep and putting it in the hands of their defense. But I got to think here that I anticipate the short kick.
There is only one player back, Felix Fulbert-Lucier. They all shift to the left. Maybe
the approach angle's interesting from Krapinja.
Yeah, he's kicking it deep.
Yep.
And Fulbert-Lucier down near his 5-yard line and out of bounds with 1:10. So now, using timeouts, but also watching the clock, the key for the Toronto Argos, for any hope, is to come up big on 2 plays right here defensively.
Yeah, this is it. When you're the Montreal Alouettes, whatever you do, stay in bounds.
Well, despite the disparity in records this season, Dwayne, these 2 teams have given us a couple of thrillers.
Yeah, they sure have. Again, a game that doesn't mean anything in the standings, but in the world of professional football, everybody's always got something at stake, something to play for. And these 2 teams have delivered tonight.
First down by the Alouettes, and it's likely game over. And the Argos swallow up Jeremiah Johnson. A minute 3, setting up the biggest play, biggest down of the ball game. If the Argos can stop the Alouettes, here, think about where the Alouettes have to kick from. And Toronto could have it pretty much in field goal position. Chance to tie, and who knows, we might have some overtime here. A lot to happen. It's all hinging on this upcoming play.
It certainly is. They got what they needed. Montreal, on their kickoff return, they're not playing for a return. What they're playing for is to not fumble the football. So for Lucier on the return, it was get what you can, get out of bounds. Well, not very much. So they start deep in their own end. Huge play right here.
They'll hold it again, and up the middle, and Jeremiah Johnson is well short. Here we go again. Another thrill on the hill at McGill. Bethel Thompson warms. He's going to get another crack. Morris Beatty's going to come out. The wind has died somewhat. Earlier in the ball game, he would have been kicking into it. So now Beatty will launch from just inside his 10. The Argos have 2 returners back.
Yeah, don't want to let the ball hit the ground where it bounces and costs you time and field position.
Remember, they don't have Chris Rainey available. Worthy is back. Beatty. They set up a return. Here's the man of the night. Man of the hour. Chandler Worthy trying to cut it outside. Chandler Worthy is down. Ate up another 5 or 6 seconds with that, though. Now 25 seconds. A chance for 2 plays likely, maybe 3, to get it in field goal position to tie.
Yeah, Montreal obviously is going to play to not let anything go over their heads. The Argos need to take advantage and hit a couple of sort of intermediate routes as the Alouettes drop off.
SJ Green time, you think? You got to figure that he'd be a main target, especially for the Alouettes to look at. Edwards has been so good as well. Returning handoff to James Wilder Jr. Close to a first down. Now 19 seconds. Now they could run it again if they can get 5 or 6 on this play. They could probably bring Krapina out. Longest this season is 50. Longest career 53. Remember, he had one blocked earlier. Bethel Thompson throwing. By S.J. Green. Now 3rd and 2.
Yeah, only 8 seconds on the clock.
8 seconds. You're going to have... The field goal would be a 57-yarder. Maybe even more, almost 58 yards. So outside Krapina. This has to be a quick out for a quick hitter. Get down, and then bring out 30. And how costly was that drop? They must get 2 yards or it's over. And now getting out of bounds, they do.
With 3 seconds to spare.
Jimmy Ralph, and remember, the Argos did this in Moncton down to the last 0.3, and so now much more manageable for Tyler Krapina.
Yeah, throwing that wide side out that I'm sure for both coaches seemed to hang in the air forever.
So now to send this to OT. Pressure on Krapina. He's had pressure on him a long time, by the way, back to his college days. He won it for his university. McMaster at the Vanier Cup.
Yeah, no McMaster fan wants me to mention that he had one blocked against the Montreal Carabins in another Vanier Cup.
So now Tyler Krapina to tie from the 51-yard line. And they're going to ice
Timeout.
The young man. Rapina spent time in Saskatchewan, of course. Little guy, just 5 feet 7 inches. Former Calgary draft pick. He's been in the big pressure situations. It's funny though, you know, you see the little guys or these guys on the sideline that don't look like they're wearing equipment half the time, and it comes down to them, and they can become heroes or they can become something else if they miss.
Well, and, you know, the length of the field goal changes the trajectory of the kick as well, right? To get the distance, it's likely going to be a lower trajectory. Remember, we saw the long field goal attempt at the end of the first half blocked by Fabian Foote coming up the middle.
So here we go. OT or not. Rapina is ready. Here is the kick. It's up. Is it good? No, it's not. It's the ball game. And once again, the Montreal Alouettes hang on by the skin of their teeth. First in Moncton, now back home in Montreal. Great ball game, down to the wire again.
Yeah, the Toronto Argonauts added some good references on their resumes tonight.
Good game, Phil.
Couldn't come away with the victory. Kicking into a wind. That one comes up a little bit short.
Alouettes 9-7 now. 2 games to go against Hamilton, against Ottawa. Argos fall to 3-13. Magic is back in Montreal. There is no doubt. Rapina gave it his best shot. VA, huge game. And now time for our Nissan Titan player of the game. I think we just gave it away. What do you think?
The comeback kid continues in his ways. Vernon Adams Jr., 16 of 23 tonight, 249 yards. The thing that stands out is after throwing 4 interceptions last week against the Winnipeg Blue Bombers, he bounces back. No picks, 3 touchdown passes. Over 40 yards rushing for him as well. Continuing his monster season, Vernon Adams Jr. is our Nissan Titan player of the game.
And he's with Matthew Shinetti.
Well, Vernon, another player of the game, but it almost seems like the discussion we had in Moncton, it wasn't about you, it was more about the team. Take us through how the mentality of this team is building toward the playoffs.
Absolutely. We knew Toronto was going to come in here fighting for everything, and we knew that it was going to be tough. So basically, man, we got in a little stalemate right there for a little bit, and offense, we had to pick it up, man. But defense, man, holding us down, special teams doing what they're doing, Mario returning. Man, it's just a great team effort, great team win. I'm just so proud of the guys, man.
Next week, come the Ticats. Is that a big game? It's not the playoffs yet, but could that be maybe a teaser towards the playoffs?
I think so, yeah. You know, it's going to show, you know, if we can make it there, we're going to be playing against them. So, you know, can't think too much ahead. Watch this film, correct everything, and then get ready for the Ticats next week.
Thanks, VA. Rod, back to you.
Vernon Adams, Nissan Titan player of the game. Alouettes and Argos put on a show once again. Good night for McLeod Bethel Thompson. Almost. Boy, another big one in Montreal. The Alouettes, 2 games remain and then on to the postseason. And yes, the buzz in Montreal is palpable. They've got a winner here as we send it back to the studio after a 27-24 Montreal victory.
Thank you, Rod. We're going to be sending it